Final Fantasy is a series that's been led by characters in every game. For almost 40 years now, these characters have brought depth to the storyline, offering diverse personalities, backgrounds, and motivations that enhance each game's appeal, sometimes unique to just that game, and other times stepping out into pop culture itself. And in today's video, I'll be ranking each Final Fantasy hero or main character from the main games 1 through 16. While we do that, I'm interested to see, does my list match yours? I don't know, we'll find out. And as always, before we get to the list, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this list. So anyway, let's get to the tier list. And in today's list, we're going to be using a Photoshop template that I've put together to kind of replicate the tier maker list, because I couldn't find exactly what I wanted to for today's video, so I figured, just make it myself. Now, the second caveat here before we get into the video, no, I am not including the MMO characters, sorry, but they're player characters. You make the characters, you customize them. What do you want from me? Don't come after me. I don't want to hear it. Okay, starting at number 14, bottom of the list, probably no surprise to anybody, we have the original Warriors of Light from Final Fantasy 1. Yes, the original heroes, the Warriors of Light. Again, probably no real surprise, but with this game, there was no real one main character. Instead, it was just a mix of what we would later call job classes with the Black Mage, White Mage, Monk, Knight, Warrior, Red Mage. You get the idea. However, this is a pivotal point in the series, of course, introducing these job classes and other themes like the crystals and other things that we've seen later down the line. This is a pretty significant starting point, and yeah, it's short and sweet, but you know, we have the original heroes. Of course, piggybacking off the original Warriors of Light from Final Fantasy 1, we have Warriors of Light, or the Onion Knight, from Final Fantasy 3. Similar to Final Fantasy 1, we have the heroes of Final Fantasy 3 forming the primary party, and players of course can name them as they choose. These four characters are often referred to in the game as the Warriors of Light. A lot of fans call them the Onion Knights or the Onion Kids. Now again, with the lack of predefined names or really a detailed backstory aside from these kids or knights were adopted by one of the town elders, I mean that's really it, so it's pretty bare bones. There's nothing significant. However, there is something though later in the Final Fantasy Dissidia series that representative of Final Fantasy 3 would of course be the Onion Knight, drawing inspiration from the character art here, of course, that we can see in this list. Okay, coming in at number 12, we have the hero from Final Fantasy 2, Firion. Firion is a member of the Wild Rose Rebellion, a group fighting against the tyranny of the Palamecian Empire. Firion, along with his friends Maria and Guy, become embroiled in a conflict against the evils in the world. Now, this is still very early in the series, and to be honest with you, I don't really recall any major sticking points for Firion personally until, like with the Onion Knight in Final Fantasy 3, Dissidia, when Firion and many other characters were fleshed out more than the original games. I do like the design of Firion with his bold orange and blue outfits and his crimson red sword that you've seen probably through different character art. He's cool, but you know, he's not the greatest hero in the series. Coming in at number 11 is one of my favorite heroes from the series. Somebody who probably, I don't know, doesn't really deserve to rank any higher than where I have placed, but number 11 goes to Bartz from Final Fantasy V. I like Bartz. He's cool because he's just a carefree, adventurous traveler joined by his trusty chocobo, Boko, and he becomes involved in a quest to prevent the destruction of the world's crystals. Quite literally an unexpected hero in that sense, but there's more to him than what you initially see. Bartz, along with a diverse group of characters in Final Fantasy V, sets out to confront an evil force threatening their world, a parallel world, and then another world. It's crazy. And of course, through doing that, they unlock the mysteries surrounding the crystals. Bartz also has a familial connection with the original heroes of the world, the Dawn Warriors. His dad was one of them. So again, having that family tie mixed with this random encounter that he had with Goluf in the beginning of the game makes Bartz an unlikely but interesting hero, and I really like him. Okay, now we're getting into some territory that you guys might start to disagree, and that's fair enough. Let me know in the comments whether or not you agree or disagree with my ranking, but I think the number 10 spot quite handily goes to Lightning from Final Fantasy 13. Coming in at number 10 is Lightning, who begins her journey as a soldier who becomes embroiled in a conflict involving the Foul Sea, which are powerful beings that control the world of Cocoon. Lightning is branded as a l'Cie, marking her with a curse, and she's given a mission that she must fulfill in order to avoid becoming a Seaith. A lot of this stuff, man, I really had a hard time pronouncing and even following in 13, but yeah, you get the idea. It's just not good. She's got a curse. She's got stuff to do. Now, like I mentioned in my stories ranked video, I didn't really care for 13, and none of it interested me, but Lightning was a cool character. I think I would describe as a female counter to Cloud with a tough and almost uninterested personality, but willing to risk it all to protect the ones that she cares about. I like Lightning's design with her pink hair and her kind of gunblade-esque sword. I think it's cool. I don't think Lightning gets enough credit, of course, because Final Fantasy 13 seems to be so panned. You either love it or you hate it. Moving on from 10, we have number 9 with Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. Noctis is the crown prince of the kingdom of Lucis, and he embarks on a journey with his friends to reclaim his kingdom after it falls under imperial occupation. Noctis' connection with the past is one of the standout things for me, having to seek out powers in different tombs. That's pretty cool. And his personality perfectly complements the rest of his crew. Noctis' growth, friendship, and the challenges of fulfilling his destiny really stand out for me in Final Fantasy 15. A game that I know gets a lot of thumbs down from a lot of players out there, but I personally enjoyed it, and I really liked the role that Noctis played in the story. Of course, Noctis is easily the edgiest looking character of the series, featuring an all-black attire. Very obvious that Tetsuya Nomura created him. Moving on to number 8. I'm going to cheat a little bit here because I actually don't like the character from this game, and I know a lot of people will tend to agree with me, and I'm interested to see, will you agree with my choice here as being a main character? So for number 8, we're going to go with, from Final Fantasy 12, Balthier. Balthier is a suave sky pirate and the pilot of the airship known as the Straw, and he's known for his charismatic personality, wit, and his involvement, of course, in the political landscape and the mystical events of Final Fantasy XII's storyline. Now, yes, he's not an obvious main character, and again, I am cheating here, but Balthier, I think, is presented as the main guy, and of course, he even says so. Balthier, in my opinion, ends up taking center stage after the first few hours of the story. Yes, it could be argued that either Bosch or Ash are the main characters, but I think the evidence points towards Balthier. Ash kind of drives the plot, but I think Balthier gives it that main character energy that nobody else really has. His backstory, charismatic personality, and unique role as a sky pirate make him, I think, the most memorable and standout character among the 6 characters that you can play as in Final Fantasy XII. In my opinion, he's the main guy. Now, in my recent Final Fantasy XII video, somebody actually commented and said that Balthier was planned to be the main character of the game. I couldn't really find any evidence supporting this, so if you guys have any leads or any information that I can look into, please let me know. Because I know Vaughn was thrown in there in an attempt to appeal to maybe younger audiences, but Balthier, in my opinion, yeah, he really stole the show in 12. Coming in at number 7, we have the main character of the Final Fantasy that I think I kind of played the most of as a kid. That's right, we've got Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. Squall is interesting. He's a reserved and skilled mercenary, member of the elite military academy group called SEED. He's initially portrayed as a reserved and introverted character. His attitude is often cool and detached, of course earning him a reputation for not really caring or seeming to be uninterested with his amount of ellipsis that he has in conversation throughout the story. It's quite funny. However, as the story progresses, players get to explore the complexities of his character, including a closer look at who his parents might be through flashbacks. I love the Laguna sequences, they're so cool, and where he and the rest of his friends have come from and the connection they have as a result. It's a real head spinner of a story, but you know, Squall is known for wearing like 900 belts and having a really cool sword called the Gunblade. I love it. And with number 6 from Final Fantasy IX, we have Zidane, as I've always pronounced him. Some of you might say Zidane. I don't know. Zidane, as I pronounce it anyway, is a skilled and charismatic thief with a tail. Most of you would probably assume a monkey tail, but there's actually a lot more to it than that. Basically, there's human characters in the game, and there's non-human characters in the game, and Zidane falls into the non-human category, but play the entire game if you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Zidane starts his quest to kidnap Princess Garnet from the kingdom, but ends up meeting a unlikely band of heroes as a result, falling in love and discovering his own mysterious past along the way. Zidane actually has a very prominent role in the story of the game, and yes, we don't necessarily find out the significance of that until almost the end of the game, but it really makes a lot of stuff make a lot of sense. Throughout Final Fantasy IX, Zidane grapples with questions about his own identity and existence. Themes of purpose and self-discovery are woven into Zidane's character arc, of course giving him extra depth as a result. Now, I love Zidane because he personifies the thief character from the original games. Final Fantasy IX, in my opinion, is a love letter to those original games, and Zidane is just cool. I love him, and I can't wait for this alleged Final Fantasy IX remake that's supposedly coming out. Who knows? All right, coming in at number 5, we have the main character from Final Fantasy X. We have Tidus, or Titus? Which one is it? Titus, as I've always said anyway, is a skilled blitzball player from the futuristic city of Zanarkand. His life takes an unexpected turn when Zanarkand is attacked by a colossal creature known as Sin, and then Titus is transported to the world of Spira, where he meets a group of guardians on a pilgrimage to defeat Sin and bring about the calm. As he joins them, Titus quickly becomes an integral part of their quest to save Spira. Titus was the first time that we had a protagonist in a Final Fantasy game that was fully voiced, and this really aided in the emotional connection that I personally had to his journey, a journey that's all the more heartbreaking when you realize that he's actually just a dream. He's more similar to an Aeon than a person, I suppose, but that doesn't stop Titus from being one of the most memorable characters from the series. Before we get to the next character, I want to let you guys know that 97.2% of the people that watch my channel are not currently subscribed. Yes, that is a massive number, so try and support your smaller content creators with a like and subscribe. It does really make a difference. Anyway, on to the next character. Okay, we're getting close to the end now. We have our last 4 characters. What way do you think it's going to go? I don't know. I can tell you, you're probably going to be surprised the next 4 characters in the order I have them in. Or maybe not. Anyway, number 4 we have from Final Fantasy VI, Terra. Terra is a young woman with a mysterious past and a unique connection to magic. She begins Final Fantasy VI under the control of the Empire, being used as a weapon due to her ability to use magic. As the story progresses, Terra undergoes significant character development, realizing her place in the world and who or what she actually is, which of course is half human, half Esper, a product of forbidden love. Final Fantasy VI having Terra as kind of the faux lead role marks the first time that we have had a female lead in a Final Fantasy game. Again, like I said, though Final Fantasy VI doesn't have a clear main character, players often place her as the lead role due to her significance in the story. Terra's complexity and unique backstory have resonated with fans of Final Fantasy VI, and of course is a clear winner for at least the top 5 characters in my opinion, so Terra could fall anywhere, but for me, number 4. Number 3 for me is going to be from Final Fantasy IV, Cecil, or some of you might say Cecil. Cecil begins the game as a Dark Knight and captain of the Red Wings, the airship fleet in the Kingdom of Baron. Now, as the story unfolds, Cecil experiences a moral crisis over his actions and the orders given to him by the king, and after being cast away from the kingdom, Cecil begins his quest for redemption, during which he transforms into a paladin, a holy knight, total 180 from who he originally was. This is the first time that Final Fantasy, in my opinion, had a clear, strong, developed main character with motivations and reasons for doing what he wants to do. Plus, if we go deeper, Cecil is actually a half human, half Lunarian. Yeah, moon people. Crazy, right? It's the only Final Fantasy where you go to the moon. But not only that, find a whole race of people deeply asleep, unaware of the evil things one of their own has done. Cecil's journey of Final Fantasy IV is nothing short of iconic and a true redemption story, and in my opinion, the blueprints for later characters that we've seen in this list and characters we'll see again in this list. Okay, 2 spots left. With my second spot, this one might shock you. I'm gonna go with Clive from Final Fantasy XVI. I wasn't expecting to like Clive. I really wasn't. With every new Final Fantasy, fans are always incredibly apprehensive because of the hype. You know, this new game in this series that we love. And sometimes we don't take kindly to new things in this series that we like. But Clive, after playing the game, totally blew me away. This, of course, is coupled with the performance of the incredible voice actor Ben Starr, who just totally brought Clive to life. Clive's journey takes place over 3 different times in his life, from ages 15 to 28 or 33, and through these moments in the game, you can come to appreciate the growth and the struggle he's had, from being part of a royal family, having that taken away, as well as his brother, and then coming back from rock bottom to saving the world. It's amazing. I like Clive's character design as well, really embodying the part that Ifrit plays in his life. Play the game if you don't know, of course, but he's dark and gentle at the same time. In my opinion, he's the perfect modern Final Fantasy protagonist. And of course, at number 1, probably no surprise to anybody, is going to be Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. Perhaps the most complex character in the bunch too, Cloud Strife, the former member of Soldier who joins the eco-terrorist group Avalanche in an attempt to oppose the megacorporation Shinra Electric Power Company. Cloud's journey is probably the greatest in the series in my opinion, struggling with a lot of mental health issues such as dissociative identity disorder and PTSD, plus his Mako poisoning and the influence that Genova has on him. His journey is shaped by the time that he spent with Zack Fair, of course from Crisis Core, and featured a little bit in Final Fantasy VII, not much. Of course, that backstory is fleshed out in Crisis Core. He adopts the personality and replaces many of his own memories with Zack's. And aside from plot points, Cloud is easily the most recognizable Final Fantasy character, having become the face of the franchise more or less with his distinct blonde spiky hair and his massive Buster Sword. I like Cloud's tough, standoffish personality as well. It's really brought home in the remake, gives him a lot more personality than the original, and just kind of, again, reiterates the fact that he is the coolest dude that you could have as a main character in a Final Fantasy game. So there you go, there's my main characters ranked list. Do you agree with that? We've gone through 14 characters, of course, skipping the MMO characters. I might do a side characters or alternative character list at some point, but for now, that's the main characters list. I'm interested to see where you might fall. What are your opinions on the list? Surely you might not have Clive as high as I did, or surely you might have Lightning a little bit higher than I did. I don't know, I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. So make sure you leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you again on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Ta-da.